is your 2021 pep talk. If you're a buyer, if you're a seller, we have some really good advice for you. And, probably most of the people that we're talking to will have zero to gain from this conversation. Okay. We just want to educate you. We want you to be a better buyer, a better seller. We want you to get what you want, and we want you to do it with as little stress in your life as possible. So,
boy, that's for sure.
A lot of
drama free, as we say.
I know.
Right.
I know. One of my clients got. I'll have to show you. They got me a sign for my office because they know me, and it's work hard, have fun, no drama.
I love that. I love that.
They know me really well. I love that sign. So anyway, we just want to help people become the best version of themselves when they buy and sell real estate. So here's my note for sellers for 2021. So as we know, most people know anyway, that I live in Anaheim, downtown Anaheim, which is next door to the happiest place on earth, Disneyland, which is very quiet right now. And I live in a zip code where there are thousands of houses. I don't know how many in my zip code, but I know that I mail to about 4,000 houses a month, and that's not even touching the whole magnitude. So I would say there's probably close to 10,000 houses in my zip code. There's tons of houses, and it's a huge zip code. Anaheim is 52 square miles. It's people huge. On the East Coast are not going to understand this because they live in townships and everything. So, but just trust me, guys, it's huge. It's huge. So, in the last 6 months, because a lot of times people will hear us say the words, our industry speak, like inventory, and they're like, what is inventory? Well, inventory means the amount of houses that is available for sale. So in my zip code, where there's probably 10,000 houses,
at least, maybe more, I think, actually.
Yeah, there are 11 houses for sale. 11. 1. There's 11
tomorrow it's
houses
going to be
for
2.
sale. Oh, this is like.
I know.
This is like really a situation. And in the last 6 months in this zip code, the average has been 21 houses sell a month. 21 sell a month. And these are single family detached houses. They're not condos. We do have condos here.
Right.
I'm not talking about that number today. So 11 houses for sale when on average it's 21 a month. That means the absorption rate of the houses that are on the market is like 2 weeks.
3 hours. It's like 3 hours.
So
feels like 3 hours some days.
If we had no one else list their house here in the next 2 weeks, we'd have 0 houses for sale. There are 26 in escrow, and there's only 1 that's in the coming soon status. So for a seller for 2021, if these interest rates remain as favorable as they are, you can talk about that a little bit more. The demand will remain high because it's very, renting and buying is looking like pretty similar around here anyway, because our rents are so high. And so, things are looking really favorable for sellers. I put a house on the market this last week, and it's coronavirus. I got to be really careful. I've got the sanitation stations. I've got the forms that need to be filled out before people come to look at the house. But another thing I like to do is say, okay, because it's occupied. So I say, all right, you can show, we'll schedule the showings Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from 11 to 4 p.m. So that way the owner knows that they know when to expect people, and they're not coming in and out all day while the owner's there. So, the house can air out and people can, they're wearing gloves and everything, but still, And in this amount of time, I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33 showings in 4 days. 4 days where you can show between
Insanity.
11 and 4.
And you had 33 showings.
33 showings.
In that short window.
That short window.
Yeah.
And I have 7 offers because this house is a fixer. And so what I did was I, priced it appropriately. And so I did my job. I've had 33 people there in just 4 days between these certain hours. And I have great offers to choose from, We just want to get the highest offer with 0 drama, and we don't want to fix anything. That's pretty much the basic. But it's like, if you're that seller, man, has the time never been more perfect for you to call all the shots, because there's nothing to choose from and people want to own a home.
That's right.
Now on the flip side of that, I cannot, you're going to love this.
That's where it gets fun. I know.
You're going to love
do it
this.
all the time.
So when I get an offer in, then I check the lockbox to make sure the agent has actually been in the house. Okay. I don't do any blind offers. That means from people that haven't even, they're just like writing an offer and emailing it to me.
See what sticks.
Yeah. Because if you're local, I've heard of people buying houses sight unseen, but if you're local, there's no reason for you to not come and see this house. Okay. Unless, whatever, you've got health problems, but your agent should have been in this house.
Right. Exactly.
They should have taken you on a video tour if you can't see the house. Okay. Right. So I get an offer and I look at the box, I look at the offer. There's not a match here. This agent has not seen this house. And I hit him up, hit him back. I said, hey, thanks for the offer. But when did your client see the house, or tell me about this. Oh, we haven't seen the house. We're just making the offer sight unseen. I said, okay. Well, legally I have to present all offers to the seller. Okay. But they're going to have a special, sad face next to the ones that haven't even seen the house. And the seller is, they're intelligent. They know what's going on here.
Sure.
So I said to the agent, well, I'll give the seller your offer, but having not seen the house, I don't think you're going to be taken very seriously. I feel like that's a fair statement for me to give them a warning.
Yeah.
And they said, well, what are your offers? What do they look like? And I said, I've got a couple days to go here. I don't know what the offers are going to end up like. They're like, well, we don't want to drive. You're going to love this. Are you ready? This is your favorite stuff. We don't want to drive all the way from Corona to Anaheim to see the house if we're not going to get it. And I went I got all my papers and I went,
yeah.
I said,
it's not that far.
With all due respect,
my gosh,
I messaged him back. I said, with all due respect, you should not have a client that you can't service. Okay. If your client's looking in Anaheim and there's 11 houses for sale, you are going to be running around like a mad person trying to make these deals work for your client. And it's going to require a lot of boots on the ground. You can't be in a situation where you can't travel. I mean, refer your client to a local person. I'm not even asking for this. Okay. Cause I whatever, but honest to God, I mean, in this competitive market, market,
that's probably a part-time agent. We know that already, or a non-producing agent, not a pro for sure.
I can't even. Right? So that's been the week. So it is very competitive. If you're a buyer, you really need to get your stuff together. And Rick, explain to people what they need to do to get their stuff together and what you do when an offer comes in to really make your buyer stand out.
Yeah, good stuff. So, wow, the last story is my loss for words, actually, other than to say it's fascinating, because, we talk about this a lot. We talk about this, you and I, almost every transaction.
Yeah.
And guess what? Hope is not a strategy. Rule number 1.
Yep.
Right. Rule number 2 is be the most prepared person in the room. That's it. right?
That's right.
And so people try to get ahead of that curve and they get a very poor result and they don't know why,
Mm-hmm. Oh
right?
my gosh. And how sad for the buyers, because like
I feel bad for those
you
buyers.
don't know what you don't know, you know?
Right,
That's why you hire somebody to do something for you, to handle all the things you don't know about and get the job done.
right. Yeah, yeah. So on the lending side, look, I think we can agree, you and I for sure can agree that whenever you present an offer, whether it's 5 offers or 2 offers or 20 offers, the seller's beyond the price, of course, but second to price is what's their biggest concern. Can you close this escrow,
Ooh,
right? And what gets in the way of closing that escrow 99% of the time is the loan, the lending
yeah,
side. We know
yeah,
that, right?
right.
And so it's super important for us that we prepare that buyer for the loan. We have a loan in process. We've approved their loan. They've already given us some of the documents. They know what to expect. They know their payments. That's really part of being the most prepared person in the room,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
we know when we present an offer, that buyer knows on certain price ranges what their payments are and more importantly, what the strategy is based on certain counteroffer scenarios, what to expect, right? But what I do as a lender is I call that listing agent without exception on
Mm-hmm.
every offer. I reach out to listing agent, let them know who we are, how we work, what they can expect, and why this buyer is the most qualified person in the room to close that escrow.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
I love that. Nobody,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Rick, I have, you know, all these offers in. No, not one of them have, not one of the agents has called
Yeah.
me. And
It's
definitely,
unnerving.
yes, and
Yeah.
definitely none of the loan officers have called me. Well, and half the time, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but
Mm-hmm.
and God bless every one of us, and I hope that everyone is fruitful and this and that in life. But there's just like some people who work at a call center. So when you're online looking for a home loan, and I'm sure I'm sure they're all wonderful people, but they lack the skill set to
Mm-hmm.
follow through and get this
Maneuver through
done.
all the,
And as
yeah,
soon as something is not a straight line and there's a curve, all hell breaks loose. And
real fast.
we just had one, you and I just had one where
Mm-hmm.
the buyers were completely approved with a
Mm-hmm.
credit union,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Mm-hmm.
day 21 came and it was day for them to remove their contingencies, and the credit union went missing in action. I have not
Totally.
ever gotten
Yeah.
a call back from them. And so we were able to salvage that situation, and thank you
We
for
did.
taking over that loan for that buyer, because how sad for the buyer. They
Yeah,
don't
I
know
felt
what
bad
in
for
the
the
hell is
buyer.
going on.
They don't
And
know what they don't know,
so
right?
you have
Like
to
you
make
said earlier.
sure what's like,
Right.
if you're just calling in a call center, or you're just like
Or
walking into
almost
the
anybody.
bank.
We've had so many transactions this last year there, we've all had the calls. You and I both had these calls, and it's even not call centers for sure are the worst, absolute
Yeah,
worst. I hate to say that. They just, in terms of what we do, they're the worst. They're the least prepared to do what we do.
right.
No doubt about that. But then secondly, there's lots of loan officers out there and out running around that say all the right things when you have an offer, and
Yeah.
then there's problems and they can't solve it. They don't know what to do next. And
Then
because
there's
they,
no,
guess what? They're
yeah,
lacking a skill set.
right. And there's no way to really sift them out, really,
No, you can't.
unless you know the person is competent and they've been in the
Right.
business a long time and they have like great reviews online. Google
Mm-hmm.
people's names, for God's sakes. Like, look these people up and find out
Yeah.
if they exist online, if they have a
Yeah.
picture on their profile, if they have
Mm-hmm.
reviews, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like the narrative is the same. It's the same lip service every
Oh
time
yeah.
I call them. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
my borrower's great, they're wonderful, everything about them is utopia, and they're definitely going
Mm-hmm.
to get this loan. And then day 21 comes and I
It's
can't
easier
get a
on day
hold of
21.
anybody. It's
Right.
like, what in the hell is going on here? Why would they
Yeah.
drag the buyer through the mud? So dear
Mm-hmm.
buyers, 2021 buyers, don't do that.
Yeah, don't.
Google people, look people up, and talk to the person. Like,
Mm-hmm.
typically, like, how's your team structured, Rick? Like you know, because I know with a lot of the call centers, for example, and
Mhm.
I'm sorry I keep using that as an example, but you know, you talk to the person when you initially make the call, and then
Mhm.
that's like the last time you really talk to the person.
Yeah, and you're right. By the way, to add on to that, it's the same process. And that's a great question. I'll answer it for you in a second. But it's also a very similar process at all the credit unions and the banks.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's the difference. As you all know, I have a team. It's not, and I have the same team on every file. They know how I work.
Mm-hmm.
They know my team knows what to expect from me. And I, as you know, I run a pretty darn tight ship.
Mm-hmm.
And so what that means to our buyers is that they get the same great result on every file. So I've got the same assistant, the same processor, my same underwriting team, my same doc drawing team on every file, and we work really well together.
Mm-hmm.
When you get outside of that environment, whether it's a call center, bank, credit union, other types of mortgage companies, here's the distinction: is they take the application, they hand that loan over to processing.
Mm-hmm.
That loan goes into a quote unquote processing center or a pool of processors, right? And you don't know what the level of processor is either, if they're qualified or not qualified to process a loan. And so once that loan leaves that loan officer's hands, you lose 100% control, because at that point, that loan officer does not have a team,
Right.
right? They can't call somebody and say, this is what I want, and here's when I want it. They're going to laugh in their face.
Mm-hmm.
The answer they get is, you've seen the emails back on some of your files. Oh yeah, well, you're number 36 online.
Right.
We're busy. We'll get to that when we get to it. We got, that's how it works. So you're not going to get the answers. You're not going to get the results, right? And that happens about 95% of the time, at least. That's how mortgage companies are
Mm-hmm.
structured. So with me, I've got the same team, the same process, the same result on every file without fail, and we're very hands-on with that. So, I don't have a pool of 20 processors that I can drop in their lap. I've got the
Right.
same processor, the same assistant, the same underwriters on every file that we do. And so guess what? I've got control, right?
Right.
And so that goes back to, hope is not a strategy.
Right.
We don't just toss into a processing pool and hope for the best. That's not the way we work, right?
Right.
So so I think that goes back, we said earlier, about being the most prepared person in the room,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got to have the right team, the right process in place to get through this market, because as you said, you've got, tens of thousands of homes, 11 homes in the market right now, right?
Right.
And over the past year, 21 homes per month have sold in that zip code, and right now there's 11 homes.
Right.
So who do you think wins that offer?
That's right. It's and we have a high turnover rate too. So I'm sure that there's other zip codes that have like 3 houses for sale. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right, for
Yeah,
sure.
you have to be very, very competitive. And I have another message for buyers,
Mhm.
because, if you're looking for something and you're looking and looking, and it's been 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and you've only looked at 2 properties, you might need to manage your expectations a little bit better.
Right,
And it's important when the interest rates are so low, and even though the values are high, but houses are so affordable, sometimes it's important just to get into something, and if in 2 or 3 years the house you really want comes along, then you can sort of address that then. Because I have
right.
a couple of people I'm working with, I feel like we need to have a talk,
Mhm.
because I feel like they're gonna miss the boat. There's lots
Yeah.
of great houses that have come up over the
Mhm.
last 9 months that we've been looking, and you know, people sometimes they say, well, at least I'm, saving more money while I look. Well,
Oh,
guess what? The property value is going up, 5 to 7 to 8, 11% a year. You're not saving that fast. So
well, yeah.
find something.
They
Find
saved
something.
$3,000, and the property volume went up 40,000. So
I
how'd
know.
that work out?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
It's not going to
I
work.
hear you.
Well, good.
Sure.
So the 2021 advice for sellers is call me.
Rule
And
number one.
yeah, even though it's a great seller's market, we still want to do a lot of preparation, and
Mhm.
we still want that house to shine and present
Right.
the best possible product that we can.
Mhm.
And then we can strategize for showings, for offer presentations. We have Google documents, we have spreadsheets, like we know how to manage this.
Mhm.
I mean, I did REOs. We had like 52 offers on one house, and I had to present
Oh,
them all to the bank. Okay. So,
yeah.
and our message for buyers is, gosh dang it, be prepared and Google your loan officer, your institution, wherever you're going, and make sure that you are in very competent hands. Because
Hmm.
like I said, you know, you call, like when I submit an offer, I always include you in on it, because as a listing agent, like I want to know my buyers are going to be able to close. And
Hmm.
also, you know, for buyers, you know, consider who you're contracting to do this, because like for example, I do not know of a credit union that I have the cell phone number of the loan officer, so that if I'm writing an offer on a Saturday, which is very likely, that I can get a hold
Yeah.
of them to
Yeah.
get this, you know, go this extra mile for me, or to change the numbers on
Hmm.
pre-approval letter or something. So just,
Hmm.
gosh dang it, like think about this, get your head in the game. It's very
It's the details.
competitive,
Yeah.
and preparation is everything. And even if you know, don't live in our area, and if you have questions or you need, you know, expert advice, feel free to contact us, and we'd be happy to do that for you.
Absolutely. For sure.
Rick, you're amazing. And I know the
You too.
market's been a son of a gun in the first 12 days. You told me it's been bananas in the
Yes.
rate market, but just
Yeah.
hold on, and hopefully things
Yeah.
will calm down. We'll see.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine.
Oh, good. I like
We're
that.
going
If
through
you're
some.
calm, I'm calm. Okay.
Okay. Good.
I know.
If you're calm, I'm calm. There we go.
I know exactly. All right. Good. Okay. I'll talk to you
Awesome.
probably in another 5 minutes.
Awesome. Okay, Megan.
Okay.
See ya.